Our boy here is trying to work, but his brain is stuck on a loop about something weird that happened yesterday. Like seriously, what in the world was that thing he saw? Was he just sleep deprived? Let's rewind. He was chilling late at night when bam, a freaky holographic window just materializes out of nowhere. He's just staring at this thing which looks suspiciously like an online shop. He's gotta be hallucinating, right? He tries tapping on a can of tuna, but nope, nothing. Ah, of course. He has 0 coins, broke even in his own delusions. But then he scrolls down and sees a zombie skull-crushing hammers for 5 coins. Wait a minute, this is just like those apocalypse stories he reads. His brain immediately flashes to a full-on zombie horde. Super pleasant thoughts before bed, my friend. But he quickly shakes it off. Nah, no way, he's just tired. Famous last words, buddy? And just as he is lost in thought, his boss storms in, screaming his name. Song Jin Song, you punk. Chief Choi gets right up in his grill, accusing him of slacking off. Typical Monday morning. Smack. He slams the desk. He wants to know why the client is calling him directly. Jin Song keeps his cool. The client messed up the paperwork, not him. The boss is not having it. You gonna talk back to me? He snarls, getting even closer. Man, this guy sure has anger issues. Just as he's about to go nuclear, a voice cuts in. Manager! It is his colleague Sion Ah, holding out a drink with the sweetest smile you have ever seen. And like magic, the manager's rage just melts away, replaced by this goofy, love-struck grin. Suddenly, he is all smiles, saying if she is telling him to calm down, of course he will. Total simp. He even grabs her hand and asks her out for dinner. Smooth, dude. Real smooth. Then he leans in way too close, and you can just see the cringe on her face. She pulls back with a polite, I have plans, which is office speak for get away from me. He reluctantly backs off, and she gives a quick bow. Crisis averted, for now. She lets out a huge sigh and mouths to Jin Song, are you crazy? For standing up to him. He gives her a grateful nod, though. A little moment of solidarity between the office grunts. Later, Jin Song is on the roof for a smoke break, complaining about how much he hates his job and his boss. But he can't quit because, you know, bills. The struggle is real, my friend. He figures he owes Siona a coffee for swooping in to save him. What a gentleman. And speak of the angel, there she is. She pops up on the roof looking for him. He is a little surprised to see her since she does not smoke. Turns out, she was also trying to escape the boss's terrible mood. Apparently, a client bailed on a payment, so now the manager is on a rampage. She starts venting about how creepy he is, always trying to touch her and asking her out. Then she shivers, saying it is cold. Jin Song's just like, nah, it feels nice. Clueless. She is not kidding though. She shows him the goosebumps on her arm even through her sleeves. He laughs, but she is dead serious. She pulls out her phone to show him some proof. And get this. It is a post titled, Snow in Africa, with a picture to prove it. Now Jin Seong's starting to sweat. Is this for real? Snow in Africa? He admits something feels off. And right on cue, buzz. Emergency alert on both their phones. He thinks it is a hack, but then another one comes through. This is getting weird. It is an official cold wave warning. A sudden, massive drop in temperature. A cold wave in the middle of June? You have got to be kidding me. And then, as if the world is trolling them, a single snowflake lands right in his hand. He just stares at it, completely stunned, while Siona complains about the freezing temps. They both look up. And yep, it is actually snowing. That evening, the entire city is covered in a thick blanket of summer snow. Jin Seong is back on the roof thinking the world has officially gone bananas. It is getting even colder, so he decides to call it a day and beat the traffic. But when he gets to the elevator, nothing. He mashes the button, but it is stuck. Great. He is freezing his butt off, so he gives up and heads for the stairs. Walking down the stairs, his mind goes back to that creepy status window from last night. Then, he hears it. The elevator doors closing behind him. What the? He turns back, thinking, oh, guess it is working now, and goes to catch it. Except the doors just keep opening and closing on their own. And the hallway is dead silent. Super creepy. Then the lights flicker and die, plunging him into total darkness. A blackout. Okay, now he is officially creeped out. He decides to just grab his bag and bail. But as he is walking through the dark office, he hears a sound, like metal scraping on the floor. That sound sends a shiver down his spine. Okay, new plan. Grab stuff, get out, do not die. He carefully creeps back to his desk, trying not to make a sound. He swears there were other people here, but the office is completely empty. This is getting worse by the second. When he gets to his desk, it is a total disaster, like everyone left in a panic. He calls out, anyone here? But only gets silence in return. Yeah, that is not a good sign. The scraping noise, the messy office, his danger senses are tingling, and not in a fun way. He snags his backpack. Time to activate Operation Get the Heck Out. But then he sees it. A lurching, twisted shadow on the wall. Nope, nope, nope. And he is gone, full sprint through the darkness, not looking back. He glances at the conference room and just knows something is in there. Suddenly his foot lands on something slick. He looks down and sees blood. Lots of it. He stumbles and sees it is an employee ID card. He lifts his foot, leaving a perfect bloody shoe print. Gross. He picks up the card. It is for his colleague, Kim Hyun-sok, and it is soaked in blood. His mind screaming, what in the world happened here? And just then, a footstep. Someone is close by. His eyes whip towards the sound, trying to pierce the darkness. He peeks through the blinds of a nearby door, trying to get a look at who or what is out there. And folks, what he sees is pure nightmare fuel. There is a creature hunched over a body, and it is eating it. You heard me. Jin Song can't even process what he is seeing. He whispers, what the? Big mistake. The creature's head snaps up, blood dripping from its chin. And the face he sees belongs to Kim Hyun-sok. His colleague is now a monster with glowing dead eyes. Their eyes lock for one horrifying second. And that is all it takes. Jin Song turns and runs for his life. The thing that was once Hyun-sok gives chase, lurching after him down the hallway. Suddenly, an ice-cold hand grabs his shoulder. He thinks, a zombie? Is this actually a zombie? He does not have time to think, because the monster lunges right for his throat. Absolute panic mode activated. He's internally screaming, what in the world is that thing? But that sweet, sweet adrenaline hits. He frantically scans the darkened office for anything he can use as a weapon. He settles on an office chair. Peak office warfare, folks. He swings it with everything he's got, yelling, die. He somehow makes it to the stairwell, heart pounding like a drum solo. He is completely out of breath. He takes a quick peek back and sees the zombie just stumbling away. Okay, I guess it lost interest. Phew. He slides down the wall in the dark. The reality of clubbing his coworker with office furniture finally hits him. Just as his brain is trying to compute the word zombies, his phone starts buzzing. Perfect timing, as always. It's an emergency alert. A mutated strain of rabies is spreading. Oh, is that what we are calling it now? Rabies? He is not buying it for a second. This is completely insane. He flashes back to that terrifying face. Yeah, rabies does not have glowing eyes and look like a horror movie extra. So he does what any of us would do. He sits in the dark and starts doom scrolling, desperate for answers. The internet is, predictably, a total mess. People are reporting bites, weird behavior, and sudden snow. And it clicks. He just has to be connected to that weird status window he saw yesterday. He searches for status window or shop window. The internet's response? A big fat nope. Then his phone screen just dissolves into static. Well, that is not a good sign at all. And there it is, the two scariest words in the modern world, connection lost. He is totally on his own now. No internet, no help. What is he even supposed to do? The full weight of the situation just crashes down on him. Yeah, my dude, we are so screwed. And just to add insult to injury, it is absolutely freezing. You can literally see his breath in the air. He's huddled on the stairs, shivering like crazy. At this rate, he will turn into an ice pop before a zombie even finds him. He can't just sit here and die. He gets up, determined to find supplies and, not freeze. He checks his phone. 83% battery. He figures that might last 2 days if he's lucky. Enough time for a rescue, maybe? With a little hope back in his system, he decides to go exploring. Time to check the other floors. He makes his way up to the 7th floor, the construction team's office. He starts looting the place, pulling open drawers with his phone as a flashlight. Gotta find something useful. Success. He finds a clean shirt and puts it on immediately. It's a small win, but hey, he will take it. Alright, warmth is nice, but now for the main course, food. The search continues with a new sense of urgency. And jackpot! He finds a bag with snacks, a thermos, and even a blanket. Somebody was definitely prepared. He has no idea whose emergency stash this is, but he is incredibly grateful. Thank you, mystery coworker. Okay, so he's got food and warmth covered. Now he just needs one more thing to complete the apocalypse starter pack, a weapon. He peeks into a manager's office and spots a bag of golf clubs. Finally, that executive is good for something. Armed and supplied, he feels like he could last at least 3 days. But will rescue even show up? He finds a small window to look outside, and the grim reality of the situation slaps him right in the face. The streets below are a complete war zone. We're talking hordes of zombies, burning cars, and a raging blizzard. No chopper is landing in that. That little bit of hope starts to fade. What if rescue cannot get here in time? The cold suddenly feels a lot worse. But just as he's about to give up, a glowing blue screen pops up right in front of his eyes. It's the shop window. And look at that. Winter clothes are available for just 3 coins. There is only one small issue with this brilliant plan. How in the world do you even get coins? He looks down at the chaos on the streets, and you can see the gears turning. A very dangerous idea is starting to form. And that is it. Decision made. It is time to go grinding for some coins. He sets up a little ambush at the top of the stairs, golf club at the ready. He is waiting for his prey. He hears something from the floor below him. The doorknob is turning. Game on. He grips that golf club for dear life, ready to swing at whatever poor soul walks through that door. The door creaks open and he does not hesitate. He lunges forward, swinging the club with all his might. But a terrified voice screams out, "Wait, stop! Uh-oh, that does not sound like a zombie." Jin-song stops his swing just in time. He recognizes the guy. Huh? Kim Juman? Oh, it's that obnoxious guy from the office. Well, this is awkward. They sit down for a little chat. Juman says he hid in the break room and asks how Jin-song survived. Jin-song's answer is not exactly helpful. Changing the subject, Juman asks if he has any food. He claims he's about to starve to death. Jin-song immediately lies and says no. Sorry, pal, but these are emergency rations. Every man for himself. But as he moves to get some water, Juman suddenly grabs his wrist. And wow, that is a surprisingly strong grip. Juman gets this really dark, menacing look on his face and asks again, "You're sure you don't have any?" Jin-song just stares back, feeling a wave of dread wash over him. Something about this dude is very, very wrong. Jin-seong's eyes narrow. For a guy who's supposed to be freezing, Juman is sweating way too much. Red flag. And before he can even process it, Juman lunges at him, snarling like a monster. Yep, knew it. Thinking fast, Jin-song smashes the heavy thermos right into Juman's face. Bam. He stumbles back, golf club at the ready, watching as Juman is thrown to the floor. Kim Juman, he yells. But the man on the ground is changing. His skin is darkening, his eyes turn white. He was perfectly fine a second ago. There is no time to think. Jin-song grips his golf club, grits his teeth, and brings it down with everything he's got. With a primal scream of die, he brings the club down again and again and again. It is a brutal, bloody frenzy. Finally, the brutal work is done. The bloody club rests on the floor next to, well, what is left of Juman. Panting, Jin-song tries to catch his breath as the horror of what just happened finally sinks in. Suddenly, a familiar chime rings out and a blue screen appears before him, mini-map activated. His eyes widen in shock. It is the status window. Of course it shows up after the fight is over. Jin-song stares at the holographic shop window that's back again. And what's his grand total? A whopping 1 coin. You're telling me I get 1 coin for killing 1 zombie? Yeah, my dude. The disbelief is hitting him hard right about now. He nearly died out there and all he got was a single meme coin. Talk about a terrible exchange rate. But wait, his 2 brain cells are finally rubbing together. Something feels off, so he glances over at his former colleague's body, and bingo. There it is. Clear as day. Fresh bite marks right on Juman's wrist. Jin-seong lets out a heavy sigh. So the guy was already infected before he even got here. Case closed. He needs a minute to process all this, so he kicks back in an office chair and lights up a cigarette he found earlier. Classic stress response. He realizes he can't trust anyone at face value anymore, but hey, at least the cigarette is pretty good. Small victories, right? And speak of the devil. As he's rummaging through a bag, a whole pack of smokes just tumbles out. It's an apocalypse miracle. He thinks to himself, it's a small comfort in this whole messed up situation. You take what you can get, my friend. But a loud groan from outside snaps him right back to reality. Welp, that's his cue. He can't stay here. He peers out the window, putting on his best I'm a survivor face. The resolve is real, folks. His mind flashes back to what he saw earlier. Another survivor, a guy with a baseball bat trying to swing his way through the horde. It's a noble effort, but completely hopeless. There are just way too many of them. And just like that, he gets swarmed and torn to pieces. Another one bites the dust. Now he's just another body waiting to get back up and join the zombie party. The circle of unlife. Back in the present, Jin-song turns away from the window with a grimace. Darn it, he mutters. And so, time does its thing. Day turns to night, night turns to day. We're now on day 3 of the apocalypse. His situation is looking grim. The phone battery is at 3% and his food supply is down to a couple of sad chocolate bars. For days, he's just been watching from his window. Every single escape attempt he's seen has ended in a spectacular, bloody failure. But despite all that, our boy has made a decision. He's got to move. He can't just sit here. Staying put is just a slow death sentence. His only real shot is to find other people and, use the power of teamwork. He slings his trusty golf club bag over his shoulder and finally heads out. First on the agenda is the 6th floor. He needs to confirm if Juman actually barricaded the entrance like he claimed. But as he steps into the hallway, something catches his eye. He looks up, completely confused. Huh? Fire, he yells, seeing the emergency lights are on. And if those are on, that can only mean one thing. No way. He immediately sprints towards the window to get a better view of what's happening. He gazes out into the dark, snow-covered city below. It's a grim sight. But hold on a second. It's pitch black out there, yet he can see his own reflection. The lights inside the office are on. Someone must have fired up the emergency generator. Which means he's not alone in this building. A massive wave of hope just washes over him. There's another living person somewhere in here, but that generator won't run forever. He's on the clock. He needs to find them, and fast. He immediately heads for the stairs, already trying to figure out where they would be. The management office or the security room seem like the best bets. Both are on the first floor. This is a solid plan. Problem is, his fancy dress shoes are making way too much noise. So, off they go. Time for stealth mode. Sure, the floor is freezing, but it beats becoming zombie chow. Down the stairs he goes, just in his socks. He hits the 6th floor landing and pauses. Time to quickly check on that barricade he was told about. He peeks through the door and sees the elevators are totally blocked with desks and chairs. Yep, it's a fortress. And a huge grin just spreads across his face. This is amazing news. A barricade this big means there could be a whole group of survivors. Alright, side quest complete. He continues down to the 1st floor, back to the main objective. The stairwell is clear, which is nice, but he knows the lobby is probably a zombie rave. He approaches the door very carefully. He takes a deep breath and slowly turns the knob, praying, "Please, please be empty." He cracks the door just enough to peek out into the blood-soaked lobby. And, of course, it's a party, alright? A whole giant horde of them is just hanging out. The entire lobby is packed wall-to-wall with zombies just shuffling around the turnstiles like it's a normal Tuesday. He slams the door shut immediately. Yeah, going outside is not an option. That's a one-way ticket to Deadsville. To make things worse, the zombies outside are now pounding on the glass doors. That glass is not going to hold forever. Okay, time is up. He needs to go. Now, he spots the sign for the management office and makes a break for it. Inside, he finds a body. He recognizes him immediately. It's the friendly security guard who always said hi in the mornings. The poor guy is frozen solid. Jin Song remembers reading somewhere that people dying from the cold sometimes take their clothes off. A tragic way to go. He gently closes the man's eyes, paying his respects. May he rest in peace. But there's no time to mourn. The only place left to check now is the security room. He knows living people can be just as dangerous. He has to be careful, maybe wave a white flag or something to show he's friendly. Just outside the room, a few zombies are loitering around. One of them is draped over a cubicle wall in a really gross way. He remembers their eyesight is terrible, but their hearing is super sharp. He taps his fingers together, getting in the zone. He takes one final deep breath and slowly, ever so carefully, begins to open the door. The door creaks open and his eyes go wide with absolute shock at what he finds waiting for him on the other side. Alright, moment of truth. Jin Song takes a deep breath and carefully creaks open the security room door. The second he peeks inside, bam! A sharpened wooden pole comes flying right at his face. Whoa! Jin Song somehow recognizes the sound of the attack, bracing himself just in time. His attacker is another survivor, a super tense guy with glasses who looks just as surprised to see him. And we get a quick flashback explaining why he's so trigger-happy. A bloody zombie encounter will do that to you. Back in the present, Jin Seong dodges another wild swing and zips past him into the room. Then, click. The door locks behind them. Now it's just two dudes in a tense standoff with makeshift weapons. Jin Seong cautiously asks the big question. Are you human? Thankfully, they both confirm they're not on the zombie team. The guy says he came looking for people after the emergency generator kicked on. A little bit of hope in the darkness. Jin Seong introduces himself with his ID, but he's still super paranoid after what happened with Jumin. Trust nobody. The other guy is assistant manager Choi Jae-sung. Jin Song's internal FBI profiler immediately clocks the shawl, perfect for hiding bite marks. He sizes him up. Unlike the sweaty, infected Jumin, this guy just seems cold. The paranoia meter goes down a notch. He spots a backpack nearby and puts two and two together. This guy must have raided the employee lounge for loot. His logic is pretty solid. Infected people have that insane hunger, right? Anyone smart enough to stockpile supplies must be human. Jin Song tries a friendly gesture, but Jae-sung flinches back like he touched a hot stove. Social skills have been seriously nerfed. Realizing his mistake, Jin Song wonders how you even break the ice during a zombie apocalypse. Small talk is kind of off the table. He lowers his club and thinks back to the good old days. The universal solution for any awkward office moment was a smoke break. And just like that, he has a brilliant idea. Maybe a cigarette is the ultimate peace treaty. He whips out a pack and offers one to the tense survivor. The ultimate bro move? Smoke one? Jae-sung just stares at the offered pack. You can't see his eyes behind the glare of his glasses. The suspense is killing me. He considers the offer, and you can see his death grip on that makeshift spear finally loosen just a little bit. And there it is. He lowers his weapon and accepts. Sure, can I have one? Crisis averted, folks. The tension just melts away. After putting out the cigarette, Jin Song jokes, "It's like we'll live." And Jae-sung actually laughs. But just then, grumble, Jin Song's stomach completely rats him out. Guess survival makes you hungry. Jae-seung tells him to wait and digs into his backpack, which, yup, is full of snacks from the lounge. He pulls out a block of instant ramen, snaps it in half, and offers a piece to Jin-sung, a 5-star apocalypse meal. Jin-sung gratefully accepts and starts crunching on the dry noodles. Hey, food is food, my friend. While eating, he asks if Jae-seung managed to loot the entire second floor. Jae-seung confirms he cleaned it out. With the ice broken and food shared, they finally relax. Jin-sung asks about the situation, and Jae-seung admits it's not good. Jae-seung tells his tragic backstory. He and a colleague were trapped in the lounge and split the food they had, but his friend got restless and insisted they leave, while Jae-seung, the smart one, wanted to wait for rescue. The moment his friend left, he was immediately attacked. His screams echoed through the office. That's rough, buddy. Jin-sung looks grim. How many are there? Jae-seung calmly replies, I counted about 4. Just 4? Easy. He had to leave the lounge because his phone was dying. To escape, he created a distraction and army crawled past them. And Jin-sung is genuinely impressed. Escaping 4 of those things is some next-level stealth gameplay. He confirms Jae-seung started the generator, and Jae-seung points to a power strip. He just needed to charge his devices. Jae-seung doesn't get why that's a big deal, but Jin-sung is absolutely floored. You've been surviving without the internet? Jin-sung says there's no signal, but then Jae-seung drops a bombshell. Satellite internet works. You know Starlink, right? Our boy's mind is completely blown. Jae-seung explains that while most servers are down, there are still a few online communities for survivors. Having no idea about any of this, Jin-sung is amazed. Jae-seung even offers to charge his phone for him, and it actually works. He can see messages from other people who are still alive. This is a total game changer. He thanks Jae-seung for everything. The charge, the internet, the info. What a massive relief. Just as they're settling in, the lights flicker and die. Well, the generator is out of fuel. So much for that. Jae-seung asks what Jin-sung will do now. His own plan is crystal clear. He is not leaving this room. Jin-sung gets the hint loud and clear. So you'd prefer it if I leave? Not so subtle, my dude. But he gets the logic. This guy wants to wait it out, and a partner who just eats his food is a liability. Besides, Jin-sung wants to keep moving, not sit around and wait. They're just not compatible survival partners. They agree it's best to part ways. I'll leave, Jin-sung says, knowing it's the right call. Jae-seung nods, but just as Jin-sung turns to go, he stops him, reaching back into his pack one last time. Just as our boy is about to leave, Jae-seung offers him a flashlight and a spare battery as a parting gift. Jin-sung is genuinely surprised and grateful. He knows how valuable these items are now that the power is totally out. Wanting to return the favor, Jin-sung offers Jae-seung the rest of his cigarettes. A fair trade, I'd say. Jae-seung gratefully accepts. Looks like he'll need those for the long, boring wait ahead of him. With their business concluded, Jin-sung turns to finally take his leave from the temporary safety of the room. Jae-seung wishes him good luck on his journey out into the darkness. A nice little moment. As he walks out the door, Jin-sung hopes they'll meet again someday. Maybe they will. Who knows? He breaks into a full sprint down the dark corridor, racing against the failing emergency power. He glances back, relieved to see a glass door is still holding the horde of zombies at bay. Phew. Hearing their groans, he grips his golf club and ducks into the emergency stairwell for safety. He considers a new plan. His company car is in the basement, and that could be his ticket out of this mess. But he knows he'll have to leave the building eventually. The big question is now the right time? He decides against it. Leaving now would be way too rash. Instead, he chooses to head upstairs first. His new goal is to gather more information from the other office floors before attempting any kind of escape. Suddenly, the emergency lights flicker out for good, plunging him into absolute darkness. The generator is officially dead. He quickly pulls out the flashlight from Jae-seung and flicks it on. A single beam of light cuts through the black. He moves slowly and carefully now, knowing the zombies could have shifted positions in the dark. Smart. He continues his ascent, passing the 4th and 5th floors, making his way toward the 6th. He's almost there. But as he gets closer, he senses something moving on the floor above. Most likely a zombie. His eyes narrow with grim determination. He knows what he has to do. There's no turning back now. He tightens his grip on his club, ready to push through whatever is waiting for him up there in the dark. Okay, so our boy's in a pitch-black stairwell, and suddenly a nasty growl echoes from above. Great start. And look what we have here. A blood-soaked zombie stumbles into view, moaning like she just stubbed her toe. Real charming. Jin-seung, armed with a golf club, thinks he is about to reach the rooftop. Oh, you sweet summer child. He tries to go full ninja mode, tiptoeing in his socks to sneak past the noise. Solid plan, right? Yeah, that did not work. The zombie lunges out of the darkness, jaw unhinged like she is about to eat a whole watermelon. Our hero's face is a perfect mix of shock, and I've made a terrible mistake. Adrenaline is kicking in. With a totally manly shriek, he swings that golf club like he is going for a hole-in-one on her face. Crack! And it is a direct hit. The club connects right on her chin. That has got to hurt. The impact sends her flying backward, slamming hard against the wall. Home run Jinsung. She lets out a horrifying shriek, her face now a lovely modern art piece made of blood and shattered teeth. He roars die and brings the club down for another swing. He's really getting into this, isn't he? But whoops. The club shaft snaps right in half. Guess it was not a professional-grade zombie-slaying putter. He's panting, heart about to explode, thinking, is it over? My friend, it is never that easy. And of course not. The hand twitches. It's still moving, he says. You have seen the movies, dude. You know the rules. Not taking any chances, he gets on top and starts going to town, bashing its skull with the broken club head. This got dark fast. Just die already, he screams. Someone is having a bad day. Finally, a little chime rings out. He got 1 coin, just one, like a piece of gumball money. Totally exhausted, the shop window pops up. His grand total is now 2 coins. He is practically rich. He is thinking, all that work for a single coin? Yeah, buddy, the grind is real in this apocalypse. But hey, loot is loot. He pockets the bloody club head. You never know when you will need a golf club shank. He checks out the corpse and her bag, probably wondering if she had any better loot on her. He tries the rooftop door, but it is locked solid. Looks like she came from one of the other floors. And that is not good news. It means the 7th floor is not the safe zone he thought it was. Bummer. So he ducks into a nearby office to catch his breath and probably rethink all his life choices. He takes a swig from his thermos and starts analyzing the fight like he is watching a game replay. He realizes that thing was fast, way faster than a regular person, more like a wild animal on energy drinks. He figures if he faces 2 at once, it is game over. He either needs friends or has to pick his fights carefully. Hoping for some good news, he pulls out his phone to check the internet. Because of course the Wi-Fi still works. He finds the Survivor Gallery, which is basically the apocalypse version of Reddit. The posts are super cheerful. People are talking about freezing pipes and posting their goodbyes after getting bitten. Fun stuff, but there is 0 new info about the zombies. He is just getting a live feed of everyone else's misery. It is all stuff from Zombie Survival 101. They like noise, aim for the head, and do not get bit. Got it. The rest of the forum is just people spamming send help, which is not very helpful at all. And the truth hits him hard. The government is gone. No one is coming to save the day. They are completely on their own. He realizes they have to survive on their own in this messed up world. The despair is kicking in. Then, a sudden sneeze breaks the silence. Uh-oh, the cold is starting to get to him. It is day 5, and he is shivering like crazy. You cannot just call in sick during the apocalypse, my friend. In this world, even a simple cold can be a total death sentence. No pressure, though. So he starts doing jumping jacks to warm up. Nothing like a quick workout to forget about the flesh-eating monsters. But his stomach cuts the workout short with a loud grumble. Even his body is protesting. He pulls out a chocolate bar. He knows he should save it, but his body is screaming for calories right now. He decides to go full stealth mode and takes off his shoes. They were making way too much noise anyway. He needs real food, and he remembers Jae-sung saying the break room might still have supplies. Time for a snack run. The only problem? The break room is in the development team's office. You know where that last zombie came from. To make matters worse, he is pretty sure there are at least 4 more zombies hanging out in there. This is fine. There is no sneaking past that many. He will have to take them out one by one, like a real-life video game level. He peeks around and spots one in development room 1 and another one in development room 2. And a third one is just wandering around the new business team's area. It is a full-on zombie office party. But wait, where is the last one? He is sure there should be 4. Nothing scarier than a missing zombie. He knows there is another one hiding somewhere, and he is going to need a better weapon than a broken golf club. He carefully checks the break room window. Phew. Looks like it is empty in there, for now. He slips inside and is relieved to see some supplies are still untouched. It is the little victories, you know? But then, he hears it. The heavy stomp of footsteps right outside the door. Party's over. It is one of the zombies. Perfect. Time to put his big brain plan into action. He says all right then, and takes the battery out of his flashlight. Looks like he is setting up a trap. The hunt is on. He tosses the battery down the dark hallway and the little clatter echoes in the silence. And just like he planned, a zombie lunges out of the darkness, growling as it rushes him. It took the bait, but Jin Seong is ready. He drives a sharp rod straight through its head, clean and simple. Blood goes flying as the zombie slumps to the floor. One down, a few more to go. He peeks out and sees the next 2 targets, drawn in by all the commotion. They are coming to him. Then he gets a brilliant, if disgusting, idea. He shoves the dead body out into the hall and the other 2 start eating it. Got it, he thinks. Just as I wanted. My man is using zombies to fight other zombies. Genius. He is breathing heavy, but he allows himself a small, grim smile. Hey, the plan is actually working. He thinks he has this in the bag, but suddenly, A rotting hand shoots out from under the door and grabs his ankle. I told you it is never that easy. And just when Jin-song thinks he's finally cleared the room, the classic jump scare happens. A zombie hidden under a desk lunges out and grabs his ankle. It opens its mouth wide for a bite, and man, this thing needs a dentist. It's a mess of blood and broken teeth. Thinking fast, our boy Jin-song, who is still using his mouth as a flashlight holder, violently kicks his leg back. There goes the flashlight, but who cares? His foot connects squarely with the zombie's face. Smack! He follows up with a heavy stomp right on its hand, and you can practically hear the crunch as its grip breaks. With absolute fury in his eyes, he raises that broken golf club again. This is personal now. And he just goes to town on it, smashing its head over and over until the thing finally stops moving. Talk about overkill. Panting and covered in gore, he can only mutter, "Freaking hell." Yeah, that about sums it up, my friend. But you know the rules. It is never just one zombie. Another one lunges at him from the darkness. He quickly grabs the broken club head from the floor. He knows he has to end this fast before the whole building hears him. So what does he do? He winds up and throws the chunk of metal like a baseball. Bam! It smashes right into one zombie's face, sending it staggering back into its buddy. A perfect zombie domino strike. The other zombie comes at him, but Jin-song pulls a pro gamer move, blinding it with his flashlight. Totally disoriented, the creature stumbles and crashes over a desk, conveniently dropping a pen on the floor. Seeing his chance, Jin-song goes full John Wick, tripping the zombie and jamming the pen right into its neck. Well, so much for his new weapon. But hey, a notification pops up. He has acquired 4 coins. Time to start grinding. He looks at his destroyed club with a sad face. Buddy, it's a zombie apocalypse. You can find another golf club. Now for the best part of any fight, the loot drop. He grabs a backpack from one of the dead bodies. The bag is surprisingly heavy. Now completely unarmed, he wisely decides it is time to leave. Or not. Since he is already here, he figures he might as well do a little more searching. This guy's logic is questionable. He remembers that his coworker only searched the break room, meaning the other offices are basically untouched loot boxes. And jackpot, he finds a power bank and some nutritional supplements. Gotta get those apocalypse gains, right? Feeling lucky, he decides to press on and check the next office over. This never ends well, folks. Suddenly, a noise freezes him. Another zombie? And of course, he is completely unarmed. Big mistake. Deciding not to test his luck any further, he turns around and just bolts. He finally stops to catch his breath, clutching that backpack to his chest like it is his firstborn child. He actually lets out a grim chuckle. Who would have thought the office would one day feel like the safest place on Earth? Shaking off the weird feelings, he decides it is finally time to check out his loot. And he scored big. We are talking chips, choco pies, cookies, 5-cup ramens, and even a soda, a feast for a king. He bursts out laughing, totally ecstatic. He thinks with this junk food he can easily survive for a month. Sure, buddy. But as the adrenaline fades, a deep chill sets in. His wet, bloody feet are not helping things. He decides to get cleaned up and heads to the office restroom. Time for a little post-apocalypse spa day. Of course, the water is ice cold. He cries out from the shock. No hot water heaters in this new world. While he is drying off, he discovers a small, dark scratch on his foot. Uh-oh. His heart absolutely sinks. Did a zombie get him? He flashes back, but he is almost certain he was never bitten. To be sure, he does what anyone would do. He pulls out his phone to check that survivor forum. He finds a post that confirms it. You only turn if you were bitten. A simple scratch is fine. He is safe. He lets out a massive sigh of relief. But of course, his problems are not over yet. He looks at his makeshift bandage. The cold is getting really serious now, and he is at risk of frostbite. He needs to warm up fast. So he calls up the shop window. He has 6 coins to his name. He remembers seeing some winter clothes for sale. The shop shows him a full set of gear, all priced at 3 coins each. Are you kidding me? He cannot afford everything. Why do gloves cost as much as a jacket? Reluctantly, he buys the boots. And just like that, poof, a pair of fur-lined winter boots materializes out of thin air. He picks them up, looking totally amazed. Wow, it really appeared. Yes, dude, that is how the magic shop works. He slips one on and it is a perfect fit. He figures the items must be customized. That is convenient, I guess. But he knows new boots will not heal his wound. Is there anything else in this weird apocalypse shop? He scrolls through the items, but it is all junk. Nothing useful for an injury. Just as he is about to give up, his eyes land on something. His whole expression changes. This is it. Hoping this is the right call and not a waste of his precious coins, Jin-song smashes that purchase button. Instantly, the system takes 1 coin from his balance and confirms his purchase. So, what did he get? For the insane price of 1 whole coin, a wave of blissful warmth finally hits Jin-song's feet. Ah, relief. As the heat spreads, a genuine smile appears on his face. Look at that. For the first time in a while, my guy thinks he might actually live. He sits there all alone, just staring out at the frozen city like the main character in a sad music video. But on day 7 of his survival, that moment of comfort is completely shattered. He goes for a drink, and bam, the water has been cut off. Thankfully, he had at least one working brain cell and filled a few thermoses, but his entire supply is only about 2 liters. At best, that's enough water to last him maybe 3 or 4 more days. The future is looking grim, my friends. Just when you think things are looking up, the universe slaps him down again. He collapses and starts doom-scrolling the survivor forums. And yep, he's not special. Posts from other people confirm that water supplies are being cut off everywhere. Misery loves company, I guess. He finds a post from some absolute madman who's about to raid a supermarket armed with a frying pan. A frying pan, folks. The guy's final message is a classic. He says, "I'm going now, I'll post again if I survive." Spoiler alert, he probably won't. As Jinsong keeps scrolling, he starts to notice something ominous. The number of new posts is slowly but surely decreasing. He comes to a pretty dark conclusion. They're probably all dead. You don't say. He can barely see any signs of life out the window. So he wraps himself in a blanket like a sad burrito and tries to stay optimistic. By day 8, he checks on Frying Pan Guy's post again. A whole day has passed and the comments confirm the worst. The dude is gone. With his hope meter officially hitting 0, Jinsong realizes he can't just wait here to become a human popsicle. He knows going out alone is basically a death sentence. He has to find another survivor and make an ally no matter what it takes. But to go anywhere, he needs a weapon. He pulls out another golf club, but these things are so flimsy, they break after just a few kills. Right on cue, the shop window appears offering a vicious-looking spiked hammer for 5 coins. It looks awesome, but he only has 2. He just scoffs at the price. For 5 coins, he could buy actual winter clothes and another one of those amazing hot packs. Deciding to go old school and loot for supplies, he heads down to the 4th floor and starts to cautiously explore. He steps into an empty office and immediately feels a chill run down his spine. Why is nobody here? His flashlight reveals blood splattered all over a desk, and then he catches a familiar, disgusting scent in the air. It's the smell of zombies. But with no bodies anywhere, he's just left wondering what in the world happened here. He finds a locked door and gives the handle a try. Could a survivor be hiding inside? He presses his ear against it but hears only silence. Okay, he's done being cautious. He takes a huge swing with his golf club and completely smashes the handle, breaking the door open. The door creaks open, and what he sees inside leaves him absolutely speechless. It's a horrifying mountain of mangled zombie corpses. We're talking at least 10 of them, all stacked up in a corner. He's completely stunned. Who in his company was this much of a Chad? If he could find this person and team up, he'd be totally safe. But then he looks around and it hits him. This person didn't just kill zombies. They swept the entire floor clean of supplies. He shines his flashlight around the break room. It is completely barren. Well, this was a total waste of time. He wonders who could have been so thorough. As he grabs a random mug, he feels a piece of paper rattling around inside. It's a note. The writer confirms they took everything and helpfully mentions the zombie pile is in the senior managing director's office. The note also warns him to avoid the 5th floor and says the writer left yesterday on day 8 at 10 in the morning. Darn it, he just missed them. The note is signed by Yoon Hyokjae, a colleague who always bragged about being in the special forces. It all makes sense now. Just as he's about to put the note away, he sees a PS on the back. Hyokjae left a little gift in a drawer for any coworker who found it. Excited, Jinsong yanks open the drawer to find 2 single packets of instant coffee. He just lets out a dry, unimpressed laugh. What a troll. 2 days later, on day 10 of survival, Jinsong rereads the note while eating a snack, thinking about that warning for the 5th floor. Why avoid it? The 5th floor is the president's office. Logically, it should be one of the safest places in the entire building. Still, this Hyokjae guy doesn't seem like the type to give a warning without a really good reason. But more importantly, it's been a full day since he has seen another living soul. The loneliness is starting to hit hard. He knows that with every single moment that passes, his chances of finding an ally are getting slimmer and slimmer. He already missed one opportunity to team up with a Chad. He resolves to start searching the other floors immediately. But with so many floors left to check, where does he even begin? And just then, a tiny flicker of light outside catches his eye. Wait a second, is that light? He rushes to the window, his heart pounding in his chest. Someone is out there sending a signal. He is not alone. Just when Jinsong thinks he's all alone, a light appears. Could it be? Is someone else actually alive in this nightmare? Okay, but who is it? The person's holding up a sign, but it's too far away to read. Classic apocalypse communication problems. Then, a light bulb goes off in that big head of his. He actually has a decent idea for once. He whips out his phone and uses the camera zoom. Thank goodness for modern technology, am I right? The message is an invitation to a party. Just kidding. It says, people on the 6th and 7th floors. 2 of us here. Want to team up? Suddenly, our boy has a new mission. He grabs his trusty golf club and heads for the 6th floor. It's time to make some friends. But when he gets there, the entrance is wide open. Uh-oh, that's usually not a good sign in these situations. He creeps inside, yelling that he's just a friendly neighborhood sales guy. Yeah, because that always works. He gets total silence. Then he sees the door was kicked in. That bad feeling is getting a whole lot worse. And right on cue, a shadowy figure lunges at him from behind. The classic jump scare. It's a zombie! Bam! It tackles him straight to the floor, ready for a snack. He's fighting for his life, using his golf club to play a deadly game of keep away with its teeth. With a huge burst of adrenaline, he kicks the zombie clean off him. Get wrecked. The thing is down, but it's not out. It's just twitching on the floor like a glitching video game character. Phew! Jin-song is sweating buckets trying to catch his breath. That was way too close for comfort. He spots his chance and rips a panel right off a cabinet. Time for some DIY problem solving. And he smashes it down on the zombie's head. The system chimes in, "You have acquired -1 coin." Wait, what? He was so sure a survivor was here. Did he just get catfished in the middle of a zombie apocalypse? But then he hears it. Clank! A sound from behind a door. Okay, maybe he was not lied to after all. He creeps toward the door, trying the friendly approach again. Hey, I'm here to team up, not to loot your stuff. Still nothing. He tries pulling the coworker card, announcing he is from sales team 2. Maybe they will bond over bad coffee? No dice. He is done being nice. If they do not open up, he is going full Kool-Aid Man on this door. He raises the club, but a voice stops him. Could you be assistant manager Song? Someone knows him. The door swings open, and it is his colleague, Sion. Ah. Well, this is an awkward office reunion, so they head to the break room for some story time. Siona tells him what went down on her end. Apparently, some guy was banging on her door last night, but she had a bad vibe and kept it shut. Smart move. The guy realized she was alone and just broke in. So she booked it and hid in here, the break room. Not even an hour later, the dude had already turned into one of the undead. That is a fast turnaround time. And yep, you guessed it. The zombie Jin-song just took out, that was him. Problem solved, I guess. Jin-song asks the important question. You got a weapon? She just points to a wooden spear in the corner. He takes a closer look, and it is a mop handle. A mop handle she sharpened with a box cutter, resourceful. She picks it up with a proud little smile. Yeah, it is surprisingly useful, she says. I bet it is. Jin-seong spots the blood on the tip. Okay, so she has definitely field-tested this thing. Note to self, do not mess with Siona. But our genius protagonist immediately thinks to himself that a woman is a huge disadvantage in this world. Seriously, dude? He is worried she will be a liability, a target for zombies and other survivors. My guy, did you not see the bloody spear? So he decides it is too risky and tries to dip. Well, I should be going now. What a hero. She is not having it and grabs his arm. You're leaving? She asks, and you can hear the panic in her voice. She begs him to stay, saying she cannot make it alone. The fear in her eyes is 100% real. He actually apologizes and pulls his arm away, about to walk out on her. Cold-blooded, Jin-song? Just cold? But then she drops a bomb that stops him cold. I used to fence. He is totally confused. So she doubles down, claiming she cleared this entire floor of zombies. By herself. You'll regret leaving me behind, she says with a look that could cut steel. I am sure of it. And Jin-song is just stunned. This is definitely not the helpless coworker he was about to abandon. Then she mentions winning a silver medal in high school. That is all it takes. Suddenly, she is a keeper. He agrees to team up. With their new alliance forged, she hands him a backpack. Turns out she already looted all the good stuff. Jin-song asks us about power banks and she's like, why? There's no electricity. Fair point, but she is missing the bigger picture. He explains about the satellite internet, and her eyes light up. Suddenly, power banks are the most valuable loot in the game. He has to ask how many zombies she really killed. She just calmly replies, 8. Yours makes 9. What a legend. 8 zombies. Now Jin-song is impressed. Yeah, he is definitely glad he did not ditch his new super capable partner. They only find 2 power banks, but it is better than nothing. With their gear packed, Siona is ready to roll. Shall we? Just as they are about to leave, Jin-song freezes. Wait a minute, he says. He has spotted something. He shines his light on some marks on the wall and asks her what they are. She figures it was the zombie guy from yesterday trying to smash the door in, probably with a desk or something heavy. But Jin-song knows that is not it. His detective senses are tingling. He scans the room for the real weapon. And there it is. Lying on a desk is a big, heavy chunk of metal. He picks it up with a huge grin. It is a vernier caliper, and for him, it is the perfect weapon. Our boy is so happy. It is a solid chunk of metal. It is super tough. He finally found a weapon better than his golf club. Siona, ever the practical one, points out that it is a little short. She has got a point. Range is important. But then she gets this sly, confident grin on her face and says, I have an idea. Oh, I like where this is going. And with a grand reveal, Seon-ah presents her masterpiece. Ta-da! It is basically a pole with a caliper taped to the end. She asks if it is any good, and Jin-sung cannot even lie. This thing is actually awesome. He realizes it is multi-purpose. He can stab like a spear or poke like a giant caliper. Seon-ah is like, told you I was a good investment. Jin-sung gives her a genuine thank you. He is realizing having a partner is not just for zombie bashing, it is for cool loot drops too. Plus, now that they have combined their snack stashes, they will not be starving anytime soon. But while he is sorting their loot, he pulls out a frying pan. He has to ask, where did this even come from? Seon-ah gets super flustered. Apparently she brought it to work to get a refund because she did not like the color. Who does that? But Jin-sung just smiles. He says it will be perfect for melting snow to drink. She is horrified. Her fashion crime pan is now a survival tool. To change the subject, Seon-ah asks how he even knew she was in the break room. He found her way too fast. He admits he got a tip from the building across the street. Naturally, she has no idea what he is talking about. Jin-sung explains that some folks over there were signaling with a light. They even held up a sign asking to team up. The message basically says, hey, we are on the 6th and 7th floors, let us be friends. But Seon-ah's spidey senses are tingling. Is this a good idea? Jin-sung has to agree it is a huge gamble. Teaming up with randoms in an apocalypse is basically asking for trouble. She gets nervous and admits the only reason she teamed up with him is because he seemed like the least likely person to backstab her. She says, I am not adding just anyone to the party. She is being picky and honestly, good for her. Jin-sung is on the same page instantly. Okay, then we ghost them. Easy decision. She thanks him for listening and then drops an absolute bombshell. Oh, by the way, I think the manager is still alive. Jin-sung is completely floored. He is like, wait, Manager Choi? She confirms it. Apparently, on day 1, the manager was trapped on the 6th floor with her before he booked it and ran away. She explains that she was hiding in the break room and Choi was stuck in the bathroom. The guy was screaming for help, but she straight up ignored him. She admits she was just too scared to do anything. You cannot blame her, really. Jin-sung asks when Choi left and she figures it was the 2nd day. His brain goes into overdrive. He has already cleared floors 4, 2, and 1. That means Choi has to be on either the 3rd or 5th floor. And now the big brain thoughts kick in. What if those neighbors team up with Manager Choi? Are they going to form a super squad and come after them? He shakes it off, deciding not to stress about things he cannot control. Good call, my dude. Besides, they have got good news. They have one more coin, which means it is finally time to buy some real cold weather gear from the shop. He pulls up the gear menu, thinking a warm hat would be amazing right now. The shop has a hat and some boots, both costing 3 coins. But his shopping spree gets interrupted when he notices Sayana's feet. My friend, she is still wearing flimsy office heels in a blizzard. His logic kicks in. If her feet get frostbite, she becomes dead weight. So obviously, buying the boots for her is the smart tactical move. But right as he is about to hit buy, he stops. His hand is literally shaking. He lets out a sigh, feeling like a total jerk, because all he can really think about is how freezing cold he is. So he decides to put it off. They are not going anywhere right now, so it is not a huge deal. Famous last words, probably. The next morning, Seon-ah is already up and scrolling on her phone. As Jin-sung wakes up, she asks how his battery is doing. Oh, you are awake? She asks. He just groans that he is never going to get used to this cold. She asks if he charged the power banks and he says he got all of them. But her phone is already down to 22%. Then she gets his attention. Hey, thinking about it now, I think there is a solar generator on the roof. And Jin-sung is stunned all over again. We have one of those? He asks, shocked. She nods. Turns out she was in charge of a project to install one. They put it on the roof before the whole thing got canned because of a flaw. Jin-sung asks what was wrong with it. She does not know the details but says it was not dangerous. It was just a prototype. But here is the million-dollar question. Does she know how to use it? And she's like, yeah, duh. I was in charge of it. A huge, determined smile spreads across Jin-sung's face. All right, he says. Let us go take a look. They have to force open a door that is completely blocked by snow. After a lot of pushing, Seon-ah yells. It opened. They are both totally winded from the effort. Jin-sung cannot believe opening a single door was that much of a workout. Looking up, they see the next challenge. Jin-sung spots a temporary ladder way up on the wall. He gives the handle a pull, but it is frozen solid. It is not moving. Seon-ah just says, looks like we are climbing. Jin-sung asks if she can even do that. She turns to him, totally determined. I will go. Just give me a boost. So on the count of 3, he gives her a boost and just launches her into the air. I got it, she yells, grabbing onto the ledge. Mission success. Jin-sung watches her pull herself up, thinking that her old athlete skills are really coming in handy. The girl moves like a cat. She lands on the roof and starts clearing snow off a big dark panel. Yes, she shouts. She found the solar generator. She tells Jinsong it is not too big. She is going to take it apart and lower it down to him. All he has to do is catch. And one by one, she sends the panels down, with Jinsong playing catcher below. They end up getting 4 panels in total, and they lay them all out on the floor inside. They are both completely exhausted but super relieved. Phew, that was tough, Siona says. Siona cracks a satisfied smile, and just like that, the installation is complete. She says it should be outside, but the bright snow might reflect enough light. Jinsong worries the clouds will mess with its power. Siona remembers that on a sunny day, it would get a phone to about 50% in half a day. But right now, the sun is barely even there. So all they can do is wait. A moment later, the screen lights up. It is charging, they got 1%, cut to the next day. Jinsong and Siona gather around the phone, their faces super tense with anticipation, and their hopes are immediately crushed. The battery is only at 9%. It gained a pathetic 8% in an entire day. Siona lets out a defeated sigh. After all that effort yesterday, their solar-powered battery is only at 8%. Talk about a letdown. Jinseong is just as bummed out, staring at the phone. He says there is nothing they can do since the sun is not out. But he tries to play the hero, telling her there is a new hope. Our boy has figured out their next move. He tells her he knows where they will go after they finally ditch this boring office. He lays out the grand plan. They are heading for the company's warehouse. He's sure there'll be lots of food supplies there, plus tools they can use to survive. Siona is immediately on board, but Jinsong is quick to point out the main problem is actually getting there. He is worried his car will not start, and their dying phone will not be enough for navigation. They might have to draw a paper map, like cavemen. But Siona just hits him with a confident, that is not a problem. Okay girl, go off. Jinsong turns around, completely baffled by her certainty. What secret is she hiding? She explains the company warehouse is right near her house. She used to see it all the time while walking her dog. Now that is a lucky break. Jinsong is absolutely overjoyed. He exclaims, I am so glad I met you, Seon-ah. Having a goal seems to have powered him up. He starts thinking about his decision to team up with her. She is smart, capable, and has not tried to steal his magical warm boots. The bar is low, my friends. He calls out her name and then, completely out of nowhere, asks for her shoe size. Real smooth, buddy. She's obviously taken aback by the random question. He quickly cooks up a lie, saying he saw some boots and might grab them for her. He remembers she claimed not to be cold on the roof, but her answer comes with a bright smile. Her shoe size is 230. He is relieved she is not suspicious of his weird behavior. She offers to go with him, but he immediately shuts that down. No, I will go myself. Wait here, he says before rushing off like a total weirdo. Nothing suspicious about that at all. He logs into the Apocalypse shop and buys her a pair of white fur-lined boots. She tries them on and hey, they are a perfect fit. Just then, a blue holographic window pops up right in front of him. A party has been formed. Wait, what? Is this an RPG now? He is completely stunned. The window explains that all coins acquired by party members are automatically his. That is what I call passive income. He wonders if this happened because he gifted her an item. If so, this is a system he can definitely exploit for some serious grinding. Siona, completely oblivious to the floating screen, just happily thanks him. He realizes he can probably increase the party size. His mind is racing with the possibilities. But Siona's voice snaps him right out of his gamer trance. Are you okay? She asks, looking concerned. He blames it on dizziness from not eating. A likely story. She suggests they eat. He notices she can't see the system window at all and decides to just play it cool for now. Fast forward 3 days to survival day 14. Their water is gone. Jinsong's lips are chapped as he mutters, I am so thirsty. That's it. They need to start melting some snow now. She volunteers to gather paper for the fire while he decides they should build it on the rooftop to avoid burning the place down. Up on the snowy rooftop, they get ready to light a fire inside a metal box. Jinsong knows this is super risky. The smoke could basically be a dinner bell for plunderers, the violent gangs that roam the city. He did not want to alert the people in the next building, but at this point, he is too desperate for water to care. The fire catches instantly, and oh man, that warmth is a huge relief against the freezing cold. Sion-ah is soaking it all in. This warmth? I feel like I can live now, she says with a huge smile. But then she remembers why they are up there. The water! She grabs a pan, fills it with snow, and puts it over the fire. Soon enough, the snow melts, and the water starts to boil. Mission accomplished. They eagerly sip the warm water. Jinsong cannot believe how long it has been since he drank something warm. Sion-ah feels it too, her eyes tearing up. She feels like she had completely forgotten this kind of warmth even existed. Sitting by the fire, they share a rare moment of peace. I am glad we did not give up, Jinsong says. Let's make it to the end, he resolves, as they gaze out at the quiet, snowy night. How wholesome. But we all know it will not last. The very next morning on survival day 15, Sion Ah is urgently trying to wake Jin Song up. The piece is officially over. He stirs awake, totally confused. "What is wrong?" he asks, clutching his blanket like a baby. "Over there," she says, pointing out the window. "They sent us a message." Jin Song is instantly alarmed. She tells him it looks like their neighbors are coming over to visit. To be exact, the message from the next building reads, "We will go over there and join you." Not asking, folks, telling. Jin Song jumps to his feet in a panic. Sion Ah explains she saw it and woke him up immediately. She figures they must have seen their rooftop bonfire last night, and now they are moving fast. They will be outside any minute. This is his worst nightmare. They have no idea if these people are friendly survivors or a bunch of violent plunderers looking for loot. Suddenly, Sion Ah screams, "Deputy manager, over there!" Three figures in winter gear, one carrying a giant sledgehammer, are trudging through the snow heading straight for them. Jin Song and Sion Ah stare in absolute horror. The welcoming committee has arrived. With the plunderers on their way, our heroes scramble to pack their supplies. It is time to get out of Dodge. Outside, the approaching group is already tearing through the undead with some brutal efficiency. Yikes. Jin Song watches from the window, realizing these guys are moving way faster than he expected. They are not messing around. They are not just surviving, they are fighting like a well-oiled machine. This is very, very bad. Jin Seong does the math. They have 10 minutes before these guys are at the door. 15 minutes tops. He quickly slings his backpack on. "I am all done. How about you, Sion Ah?" The pressure is on. Sion Ah zips up a huge duffel bag, saying she is almost finished too. Time to run. Meanwhile, the plunderers' party is about to hit a major snag. A very undead snag. What was a clear path is suddenly flooded with zombies pouring in from the streets. It is a zombie traffic jam. The group stops dead in their tracks, staring in shock at the massive wall of zombies blocking their path. Well, that is inconvenient. The leader does not hesitate for a second. Forget it. Just run. They make a mad dash for the only safe place nearby, which just so happens to be Ginseng's office building. The man with the sledgehammer reaches the glass doors first, getting ready to make his own entrance. With a tremendous crash, he smashes the glass, creating a brand new, very unwelcome doorway for his team. Boom. The glass shatters and the invaders are officially in the lobby. Watching from the floor above, Jin Song is not happy about it. He quickly turns to Sana, asking if she's good to go. She's gathered everything, but there's a tiny problem. The problem? It's the solar panels. Jin Song immediately says they have to leave them behind. Sana protests, asking about their power, but Jin Song lays down the law. Survival comes first. A classic protagonist line. She's not happy about it, but she agrees. With one last sad look at their power source, they get moving. And just like that, bang, a loud crash echoes from the stairwell. The invaders are breaking through to their floor. Jin Song grips his weapon, stating the obvious. They're coming up, so now they're trapped. Do they run to the rooftop or head down to a lower floor? Jin Song does some quick tactical thinking. The roof is a good choke point, but the freezing cold would nerf them in a long fight. So he makes the call. For now, let's head down. Their new objective is the 6th floor. They'll block the entrance and make their stand there. But as they descend, they hear heavy footsteps coming from below. Oh great. Get ready, Jin Song warns. They pause on the stairs, listening intently for the approaching threat. And here come the bad guys. A team of 3, armed to the teeth and ready for a fight. Our boy Jin Song tightens his grip on his spear, his knuckles turning white. His eyes narrow, locking onto the enemy. He's in full-on serious mode now. The footsteps echo, getting louder and louder. They're getting close, folks, Siana whispers, and you can see the light bulb go on. It looks like they're checking to see if there are any other survivors. And she's right. The invaders are systematically sweeping the empty offices, floor by floor. They clear out the 4th floor, then start making their way up to the 5th. Jin Song tenses up, getting ready for a fight. They'll be here any moment. And then, nothing. The footsteps just stop. Dead silence. They just look at each other, totally confused. What gives? Why aren't they coming up? Siana gets that classic bad feeling about this vibe. Assistant manager, something feels off. And kaboom! A massive explosion from below rocks the entire building. They're thrown to the ground in a shower of debris. Jin Song immediately checks on her, asking if she's alright. They're both shaken up, but they're okay. They figure it must have been some kind of bomb. But wait, that makes zero sense. Why use explosives when they know it's just the 2 of them? Total overkill. Then it hits him. He remembers that creepy note he found earlier. I strongly advise you to avoid the 5th floor. He also remembers Siona saying their old psycho boss, Chief Choi, was probably hiding on the 3rd or 5th floor. No way, he whispers, and you can just see the horror spreading across his face. He makes a split-second decision. Let's go down and check. Siona is like, right now? Are you crazy? Yes, he says, all serious. If my guess is correct, then probably he leaves us hanging. What a drama king. So they cautiously make their way down to the 5th floor, straight into the danger zone. And my friend, the place is a total wreck. Rubble and shattered glass are everywhere. Sienna can't believe her eyes. Jinsong tells her to stay sharp and not to let her guard down, but she suddenly freezes in her tracks. Assistant manager, over there, she stammers, pointing into the darkness. Jinsang looks, and his eyes go wide. Lying on the floor are the dead, bloody bodies of 2 of the invaders. He tells her to hang back while he investigates. But something's off. Why are there only 2? He scans the area, noticing there are no leftover explosives. And then he sees it. A nearby door is just gone, blown completely off its hinges. He's cursing the whole situation when suddenly he hears a man's voice groaning from inside the destroyed room. The voice says, "It hurts, right? I knew it would." And Jinsong knows that voice. It's Chief Choi. The 3rd invader is on the ground, his feet completely mangled, while Choi just stands over him muttering to himself. Choi looks up, surprised, and then his face splits into this super disturbing grin. Assistant manager Song. He reaches out a bloody hand calling his name. This guy is a walking red flag. Jinsong is just frozen in shock as Chief Choi starts crawling towards him, pathetically begging for help. And then Jinsong sees it. The chief's own leg is crushed. The guy is wailing, "Save me, I'm begging you." He's screaming that it's not fair and he doesn't want to die, leaving a lovely trail of blood behind him. And our hero can only stand there, looking completely horrified. Can't blame him, honestly. Siona finally catches up. "Is that Chief Choi?" she asks, before trailing off as she sees the absolute horror show. Choi sees her, but before he can even speak, Jinsong shuts him down, ice cold. "I'm sorry, Section Chief. We don't have any medicine, and we're not doctors." Ouch. That's a hard no. And you can just see the desperation in Choi's eyes turn to pure madness. "I said I want to live," he screams. Then this awful idea pops into his head. "There's a way I can survive," he shouts, staring right at them. "Get ready for this, folks." He asks, "If I become a zombie, I won't die, right? My man has officially lost it." He grabs Jinsong's leg, begging, "Just take me to the 1st floor. Let me get bitten." Jinsong looks down at this pathetic mess of a man, pries his bloody hand off and says, "I don't think we can do that." Choi absolutely loses it, screaming, "Why the heck not? I held off the raiders for you. And you can't even do this for me?" Then he starts slinging mud, accusing them of wanting him dead so they can shack up together. Real classy. His tone gets real nasty. "Fine. Then let's all just die together." He spits, revealing his trump card. There's still 1 bomb left. But before he can do anything else, Sayana's spear slams down. Stuck and bleeding out, all the chief can do is glare and whisper one final curse before he goes. Well, that settles it. Turns out the invaders were just a bunch of low-level raiders looking for loot. Sion Ah checks one of their bags, and it is completely empty. So much for a big score. To make matters worse, their shield is busted, and the sledgehammer is way too heavy to be useful. Jinseong's face says it all. He is not having a good day. Siona is clearly still shaken from the fight, but Jinseong goes into full ice-cold pragmatist mode. He tells her the raiders were goners from the start, and their old boss, Manager Choi, was already bleeding out. All Siona did was save him from a long and agonizing death. So, no need to feel guilty, right? You can see the realization in Siona's eyes, but she hardens up real quick. She's in this for real now, and she agrees with him. Just when you think things can't get any more intense, Siona spots something through the shattered window. She's so freaked out she can barely get the words out, just telling him to look. Jinsong leans forward to see what has her so spooked. And his reaction says it all. "This is crazy," he mutters. Because the street below is an absolute sea of zombies. A full-blown horde. A quick scroll through the survivor forums confirms their worst fears. That explosion they caused basically acted like a dinner bell for every zombie in the district. So their safe house just became the hottest, most dangerous spot in town. Jinsong's stress level is through the roof. Not only do they have zombies, but other raiders will be drawn to the commotion. They watch from above as the horde slowly starts to disperse, but there are still way too many hanging around. The lobby is officially a no-go zone. They have got to get out of here. Jinsong makes the call. They are leaving tomorrow or the day after at the absolute latest. But first, a little recon mission is in order. Flashlight in hand, he suggests they head down to check out the situation on the 1st floor. As they're sneaking down the stairs, Siona stops him cold. "Wait," she whispers. "Don't you hear that? A classic horror movie setup, folks." And right on cue, bang. A loud noise echoes from one of the floors above them, definitely not where they were expecting trouble. They peek through a doorway, and there's the source. A single blood-soaked zombie is just shambling around the office. Talk about creepy. Siona is completely shocked, her mind immediately jumping to one terrifying possibility. Could that be Manager Choi? But Jinsong immediately shuts that theory down. Nope, not possible. He reminds her Choi's head was well ventilated. A zombie still needs a working brain. He also crosses Bitten Raider off the list. The timeline doesn't add up. Any of them would have turned long before they got back. So, That leaves two theories. Either there was another survivor on the third floor they missed, or something crawled in through that broken fifth floor window. Their debate gets cut short by the charming sight of another zombie having a snack on a corpse. Yeah, let's just table this discussion and keep moving. It turns out the first floor is a total disaster. We're talking wall-to-wall zombies. It's a packed house, and none of them bought tickets. The chaos makes Jin Song think about that paranoid survivor he met earlier, assistant manager Choi Jae-sung, who was hiding out in the security room. He figures if that guy was still in there, he'd be the first to know about this zombie party. Trying to use the main exit now would be instant game over. But Seona has a brainwave. The underground parking garage. Jin Song immediately agrees it's their best shot at getting out. He remembers it was clear last time they checked, so they head down to do a quick head count of any new undead tenants. And would you look at that? Only about 10 zombies wandering around. That's a huge improvement over the mosh pit in the lobby. Jin Song starts laying out the plan. They can use the cars as cover, plus a fun zombie fact: no wind underground means the zombies are less likely to smell them. He spots one of those big round safety mirrors and asks Seona to use her superior eyesight. What can she see in the reflection? She squints, doing that thing we all do to see better, and manages to make out the entrance to the first basement level. Her intel comes back positive. The zombie count on the floor below looks about the same as where they are now. Looks clear enough. That's enough, Jin Song says, actually cracking a smile. With their escape route scouted, it's time to head back up and prep for their great escape. Back in their base, they finalize the plan. Driving is out since the car batteries are definitely dead in this cold, so it looks like they're going for a long walk. They huddle over a notebook, looking like they're planning a Dungeons & Dragons campaign as they map out the safest route on foot. Meanwhile, the temperature outside has dropped to a cozy -35 degrees Celsius. With 5 hours to go, their go bags are packed and ready by the door. As they try to get some rest, Seona asks Jin Song if he's asleep. He admits she caught him. He has been tossing and turning all night. And of course, she knows exactly why he can't sleep. She asks him, it's because of that person on the first floor, right? Jin Seong confirms it, and then Seona completely throws him for a loop. She says, you can bring them with us. He's completely floored by this. He protests, arguing that bringing a total stranger along would put both of them in danger. But Seona is just going with her gut. She says they seem trustworthy. Jin Song actually considers it. If she trusts them, maybe it's a risk worth taking. He asks her if she's absolutely sure she'd be okay with a third wheel joining their survival party. Without a moment's hesitation, she says, yes, of course. With the decision made, Jin Song stands up, grabs his phone, and flicks on the flashlight to get to work. He apologizes for the bright light, but Seona just gives him a warm smile and tells him it is totally okay. Jin Song gets to typing, sending out a message on the Survivor forum. It is a direct invitation for assistant manager Choi Jae-seung to join their escape. Fast forward to the next morning. It is day 17 of the apocalypse, 5:40 a.m., and our duo is geared up and ready to move out. He checks the forum post for a reply and gets nothing. Just a couple of comments from random anonymous users who are probably very confused. He is clearly disappointed by the radio silence, but he is not ready to give up just yet. He figures the guy might just be waiting for them at the meeting spot. And so, with their plans set, they begin their cautious descent through the dark and grimy stairwell, one floor at a time. They finally arrive at the first floor emergency exit, only to find the landing completely empty. No one's here, Jin Song says, stating the obvious. Seona points out that they're only 3 minutes past the scheduled time. She suggests they wait just a little bit longer, still holding out hope. The minutes tick by in the cold, silent stairwell. The clock on his phone hits 6:05 a.m. It looks like Choi Jae-seung is officially a no-show. Bummer. Well, so much for backup. Looks like Choi Jae-seung is a total no-show. Jin Song's a little disappointed his friend decided not to come. Just as they get ready to move, Seona spots a single, bloodied zombie definitely was not there a second ago. Jin Song confirms it. Guess it is time for plan A. No point trying to sneak around this one lonely guy. Seona recalls some vital info in the chat rooms. Apparently, these zombies just circle the same spots the whole day. Armed with that crucial piece of internet wisdom, they begin their stealth mission using the parked cars as cover. They creep up behind a black sedan, closing in on their very unsuspecting and very dead target. They give each other that silent, determined look. You know the one. It is absolutely go time. Jin Song steps out and deliberately kicks something on the ground. And oh, it works. The zombie turns its head with a creak, locking its dead eyes right on him. It lets out this horrifying shriek and just charges straight ahead. Full steam, no brakes. But our boy Jin Song is not even sweating. He just stands there with this confident smirk like he has done this 1,000 times. Suddenly, from behind, bam! Seona shoves her spear right through its skull. One shot, one kill. A system alert pops up. Seona's kill just earned him a coin. Hey, party loot is still loot, my friend. Teamwork makes the dream work. Jin Seong gives her a big thumbs up, and she actually cracks a little smile. Look at her. She is a natural at this whole apocalypse thing. With that one zombie neutralized, they press on, finally making their way out of the spooky parking garage. They finally see daylight, but their relief lasts for about 2 seconds because it is unbelievably cold outside. Like, seriously freezing. Jinsong knows if they hang around out here, they are going to turn into human popsicles. He grabs her hand and says, "Let's move." Their first destination is Cheonggyecheon, a romantic stroll by the frozen river. How lovely. Seona brings up a classic piece of zombie lore. Apparently, their greatest weakness is stairs. They just cannot do them, so they start moving, trying to be as quiet as possible. After a few minutes, Seona exclaims, "We're moving way slower than I thought." But Jinsong figures it's better than fighting. And look, they spot their goal, the sunken walkway by the stream. Oh, but there is just one tiny problem. A massive swarm of zombies is just chilling by the police station right next door. They inch closer, counting down the distance. 30 meters. 22. 17. Almost there, folks. Almost there. And of course, right on cue, the wind picks up. A blizzard starts howling around them. This is not good at all. Jinsong's eyes go wide. He realizes the wind is blowing their fresh human scent directly towards the zombie police department. Over at the station, a zombie cop's head snaps up. Sniff, sniff. Is that lunch I smell? Yep, they have been detected. In an instant, the entire horde turns and starts charging right for them. Dinner is served. Seona is panicking, but Jinsong's brain is working overtime. He realizes their brilliant stairs plan is actually a death trap. Okay, so maybe zombies cannot walk downstairs, but what is to stop them from just tumbling down like a pile of rotting laundry? The noise would be a dinner bell for every zombie in a 1-mile radius. New plan? Get inside a building right now. But where can they possibly go? Every shop with a broken window is already an all-you-can-eat zombie buffet. And smashing their way into a sealed building might as well send out engraved invitations to the horde. Then Seona, our queen of spotting things, points. Left. The bus on the left. A bus. Brilliant. They scramble to the bus and yank on the doors, but they are locked tight. Jinsong gets ready to smash the glass. But wait, Seona stops him. She points inside. My friend, the key is still in the ignition. No time to waste. Jinsong uses the handle of his weapon to pry the door open. Hurry, he yells because the welcoming committee is right behind them. He dives in right after her and grabs the door lever, trying to force it shut. But it's stuck halfway. This is bad. At this rate, the zombies are going to break right through it. Jinsong leaps into the driver's seat, desperately fumbling with the controls, but absolutely nothing is happening. He knows that flimsy little door is not going to hold for long. They're practically screaming to just make the bus go. And then the bus lurches. Seona turns to see a zombie slams its face right against the window next to Seona. She is understandably freaking out. Jinsong is gritting his teeth so hard they might crack. The engine just will not start. They're coming, Seona screams as a zombie tries to squeeze through the door, but Seona is not waiting around. Bam! She thrusts her spear right through the opening and skewers the zombie through the neck. Get out of here, she screams, shoving the zombie corpse right off the bus. You go, girl. But they are still a stationary target. The bus is shaking like a leaf as the horde pounds on it, and our heroes are about to lose it. And then, a new sound cuts through the chaos. It is the deep rumble of the engine finally roaring to life. A look of pure determination flashes in Jinsong's eyes. Oh yeah, it is time to floor it and turn these zombies into roadkill. That's a wrap on this recap. Hit that subscribe button to help us keep pumping out awesome content. Catch you in the next one.